Grimmoire Studios presents Your Brain on Capitalism, a raw truth transmission on dopamine, exhaustion, and why self help won't save you. Content warning. This piece discusses systemic exploitation, burnout, and capitalism's psychological manipulation. It will make you uncomfortable. That's the point. You've tried everything, every productivity hack, deleted social media, started meditating, set boundaries at work, and you're still exhausted. You can't focus. You feel like you're barely hanging on. You wonder if maybe there's something wrong with you. There isn't. You're trying to individually optimize your way out of a system designed to extract maximum value from you until you break. This is what they're not telling you about your brain, dopamine, and why self help is a scam designed to keep you from seeing the real problem. The neuroscience, what's real? Let's start with what's actually happening in your brain. First thing, dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical. That's propaganda. Dopamine is a prediction error signal, and that sounds weird, so let me break it down. All day, your brain is drowning in sensory input, visual, auditory, tactile. Most of it is irrelevant. You don't need to notice every butterfly that flies by, or your brain would overload. So, your thalamus, think of it as your brain's bouncer, filters out the noise. It only lets important stuff through. But how does it decide what's important? Dopamine spikes when something deviates from the expected. You see a squirrel every day, brain says noted, not important, but one day the squirrel is an alpaca. Brain says, wait, what? That's dopamine. It's your brain's way of saying, pay attention. The world just changed. Maybe you need to learn something new. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You'd think that if you found the thing that makes you happy, XYZ, you'd just stay happy, right? Wrong. It's called hedonic adaptation. Within weeks of getting the thing you wanted, you're back to baseline. The new car, the promotion, the relationship milestone, all of it fades. This is why getting more doesn't make you happier. More money, more status, more stuff. It all stops registering after a few weeks. You're always chasing the next thing, the next level. And your brain is also wired to seek novelty because throughout human history, novelty usually meant survival, fire, tools, agriculture. New things helped you live. So we're designed to chase novelty and designed to adapt to it immediately. It's a game you can't win. You just move to the next level. And this is a huge problem if you're a capitalist trying to profit from people who adapt quickly and move on. How do you keep them buying? How do you keep them forever dissatisfied? Enter the hijacking. Act 2, the hijacking who benefits. For most of human history, we evolved to seek novelty and adapt fast. That's how we survived. But around 12,000 years ago, agriculture changed everything. Agriculture didn't just create food, it created ownership. For the first time, some people could accumulate more than they needed while others went without. Scarcity stopped being a natural condition, it became a social weapon. Suddenly, novelty became dangerous. The new thing could be a threat to your stored grain, your land, your power. So humans developed new survival strategies: cooperation within hierarchies, planning, delayed gratification. These became the hallmarks of civilization. They're also the hallmarks of capitalism. Under capitalism, it's not the novel thing that threatens you, it's the lack of novelty, the lack of stimulation. So instead of letting you just exist, corporations flood your environment with artificial scarcity, fake threats, and then sell you the solution. Buy our product and avoid the pain. Buy our product and avoid being left behind. Buy our product and avoid becoming poor. For centuries, advertising was the main tool for this manipulation. But now, with social media, now they can hack your brain's reward centers directly. Every click, every view, every like, every share, dopamine, straight into your brain. The goal of the attention economy isn't to sell you a product, it's to keep you in the attention economy. Your exhaustion is profitable, and this isn't an accident. Variable reward schedules are the most addictive. It's the same psychology that drives slot machines. Think about it. If a slot machine paid out every time, you'd get bored. If it never paid out, you'd stop playing. But if it pays out sometimes, unpredictably, you'll keep feeding it quarters until you lose everything. So that's your Instagram feed. That's why you check it 50 times a day, even though it makes you feel like shit. Sometimes you get the dopamine hit, sometimes you don't. The anticipation keeps you hooked. You're not the customer, you're the product. And here's where it gets really insidious. Think about the last time you felt truly productive. You crossed three things off your to do list and felt proud. Those moments are rare. Why? Because productivity culture figured out how to weaponize your brain's achievement, dopamine, against you. Your brain does get a dopamine spike from accomplishing things, but that spike isn't tied to the activity itself. It's tied to the relief it brings, relief from anxiety, relief from a looming deadline, relief from the pressure to perform. But here's the thing, under capitalism, that relief is directly proportional to the length of your to do list. And that list is infinite, not just infinite, expanding. The more ambitious you are, the more ambitious everyone expects you to be. So, productivity culture isn't helping you get things done, it's ensuring you never, ever feel like you've done enough. Act three, the individual solution. Scam, why it fails. Okay, so now you know you're being exploited. Your brain's reward centers are hijacked. You're addicted to variable reward schedules. You're trapped on a productivity treadmill. So what do? Well, good news. There's an entire industry devoted to making you feel better about yourself. You go to the doctor, they prescribe medication. You go to therapy, they teach you mindfulness. You read a book about setting boundaries, and for a moment, those things help. But eventually, you're back to feeling burned out. And that's because those solutions are only designed to release pressure. They give you a temporary sense of control. They're a pressure valve. Let me be clear, if you're burning out, you should take a break. You should go to therapy. You should see a doctor. But if you're doing those things and you're still exhausted, still barely holding on, then you're being scammed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Those solutions aren't designed to help you. They're designed to distract you from the real problem. Think about it. If you meditate, if you set boundaries, if you get therapy, you're taking responsibility for your own burnout. You're taking responsibility for the capitalist exploitation that's slowly killing you. And that means you can't point your finger at someone else and say, "You're taking advantage of me." It means you can't organize collectively and demand, "We need policy solutions. We need systemic change." Because if you're meditating, if you're optimizing, you're individualized, you're atomized, and that's the ultimate goal of the self help industrial complex. They need you to believe the problem is personal because personal problems require personal solutions. Personal solutions keep you isolated, and isolated people don't organize. Act four, the collective response, what might actually work. See, here's the thing about mutual aid systems, about communities actually organized to care for each other. You don't need superhuman people. You just need a system designed for humans as we actually are. Under capitalism, if you're not producing, you're not valued. Can't work, you're disposable. But in mutual aid systems, your value is inherent. You're cared for when you can't contribute, which means when you can contribute, it's freely given, not extracted under threat of abandonment. That's the difference. This isn't utopian fantasy, it's already happening. Community fridges operate without means testing. You take what you need, you give what you can. Mutual aid networks during COVID distributed food, supplies, medicine, no questions asked, no applications, no proof of worthiness required. Time banks let people trade skills without money. Tool libraries share resources across neighborhoods. And on the policy level, countries with universal health care don't tie your survival to your employment. 4-day workweek pilots show that people are more productive with more rest, not less. These aren't theoretical solutions, they're working right now. The question isn't, can it work? The question is, why are we pretending it can't? And I know what you're thinking, but organizing is hard. I'm already exhausted. Yes, that's the point. They keep you too tired to organize because organized people are the only thing that threatens their power. The exhaustion is strategic. You're not too tired to fight back because you're weak. You're too tired to fight back because making you tired is how they win. Closing, the choice. So here's the most important thing you can possibly hear. There is no personal solution to a systemic problem. Your brain is fine. The system is working exactly as designed. Contentment under capitalism is possible only through either delusion or rebellion. Choose rebellion, not the performative kind, not the individualized, I'm off the grid fantasy kind, the kind where you build community care systems, where you take care of each other, where you support each other not because it's profitable, but because it's survival. The kind where you stop believing there's something wrong with you and start seeing what's wrong with the system. You're not broken,